안녕하세요 여러분. English in Korean에 오신 걸 환영합니다. I'm Michael Elliott.
And I'm Ben.
My partner here. And it's been a long time, Ben. When was the last time we had you?
Oh, must be about 2 years? 2 years? Almost 2 years ago.
It's been 2 years. So 오래됐어요. 2년 넘었으니까 it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
It's been more than 2 years perhaps.
Perhaps.
I know the video we made first, our first video. Remember on the front camera on the iPhone 3 years ago, and I got a call in the middle of it. 촬영하는 도중에 전화 걸려와서 이렇게 잠깐 컷했어요. Remember that one?
I do.
And that one's a popular video. It's up to 30,000-40,000 views.
Nice.
We're getting there. The popularity is all due to you.
Of course.
Ben 덕분에. It's all due to you. All thanks to Ben.
Shiny head.
That's right. This is what does it for people. 광이 나는. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so 오늘의 주제는 바가지 쓰다 그리고 쉬우다 바가지 쉬우다 영어로 재미있는 수거 있어요. 그러니까 한국어처럼 우리 쓰는 말이 있어요. So when you let's see 바가지 쓰다 영어로 what's the formal way of explaining that?
The formal way would be to be overcharged.
Right. So that's one word 한 단어이고 over plus charge. 영어로 과도하다. Over 많이 쓰죠. So there's also the word overact.
Yep.
Right? And overact, overcharge, they're all one word now. Overrated is another one. 과대평가. My lecture is not overrated. When they overrated, 과대평가하다. Also underrated, 과소평가하는 거예요. Okay, 실제보다 실제 모습 아니면 실제 그 실력보다 낮게 하는 거는 underrated, overrated 이런 말이 있는데 what's an idiomatic 수거로 이 같은 말 하려면 what is it?
To get ripped off.
Right. So ripped off is probably originally like if you rip something off, right? 뜯어내다. That's the original meaning of it. 근데 ripped off 이렇게 수거로 쓸 때 의미는 바가지 쓰다. So yeah, I got ripped off. He got ripped off. 그리고 남한테 이렇게 바가지 씌웠을 때 그러면은 쓰는 말 I ripped him off, right? He ripped me off. 그렇게 얘기할 수 있어요. Do you want to do let's do the example sentences.
Okay.
And I'll kick it off with A and you can B. Okay. So hey man, how much did you pay for that cell phone?
I think it cost me about 400,000.
Okay. Really? Really? Hate to break it to you, but you got ripped off.
Oh no.
Yeah, you got ripped off. So, I'll explain the meaning. So, hey man, 안녕 친구. How much did you pay for that cell phone? 그 휴대폰 얼마나 내고 샀어요? How much did you pay for that cell phone? 그리고 대답은 I think it cost me about 400,000. So, 이렇게 내 기억으로는 내가 한 40만 원 정도 냈어요. And sometimes, so we'll say 400,000, sometimes we say 400,000, right? Abbreviate it. 200,000. How much did you pay? 5,000. So 1,000 줄여서 그냥 앞부분인 1,000만 얘기할 때도 있어요. Of course, you gotta be careful because if you say it "sow," the people won't understand, right? You better say
400 sows, 400
cows. Yeah.
Or the pigs. Pigs.
Oh, you're right. Pigs. You tricked me. I got duped.
Yeah.
So 400,000이라고 하면은. 그러면 1,000을 줄여서 400,000. 근데 중요한 것은 여기 th 발음 꼭 살려야 돼요. 400,000이라고 하면은 400 pigs. So 영어로 sow이라고 하면은 돼지라는 의미니까 그거는 안 되고. Okay, so and then in the last sentence, really hate to break it to you. So hate to break it to you is like I've got breaking news for you, and I'm sorry to tell you this, right? I'm sorry to tell you this, but you got ripped off. And then I'll comfort you with a pat on the back. So 위로하다, I'm comforting him because he's upset about that. So hate to break it to you, break it to someone. 속보라는 말은 영어로 breaking news이라고 하죠. So 금시초문, 네가 바가지 쓴 거야. So I just got this breaking news. A news flash, Ben. News flash. You got ripped off. 그렇게 얘기할 수도 있어. News flash, Ben.
I thought I got a good deal.
You thought wrong. You thought wrong. 그런 말도 있어요. Okay, what about another way to say the same thing? What's another way?
I got scammed.
Right. So if you look at scammed, scam 이렇게 따로 보시면은 이거 사기라는 의미고 I got scammed이라고 하면은 사기 당했어요. I got scammed. So 이것도 많이 쓰죠. We also use this expression a lot, right? I think the one we use the most when you pay too much is ripped off. Yeah, so I got ripped off 아마 80%? 대부분 경우에 I got ripped off 또는 I think you got ripped off 이라고 제일 많이 쓰고 overcharged we don't really use that very often.
No.
I don't think I've ever said that in my life. But if I wanted to avoid an idiom, I might say overcharged. I guess you could say I think
overcharged. Maybe I've used it in a restaurant.
Yeah, I think
when
we
they
were
miscalculated the bill.
Right.
And we've been overcharged.
I think we've been overcharged.
It's
yeah.
a
polite, more formal way. Yes. You wouldn't want to say 그냥 웨이터한테 I think you're ripping me off. Those would be fighting words.
Yeah.
그거 싸우는 말이니까 그거보다 I think we've been overcharged이라고 하면은 듣기 더 좋은 말이기는 해요. So we use I got ripped off the most. I got overcharged or I've been overcharged in formal situations. I got scammed. We also say that.
Yeah.
This sounds a little bit more. Sometimes it overlaps with this, but it also sounds more like a fraud. Like I fell for something.
Fell for a calculated
plan or deception of somebody else's. Okay, so 우리 다음 거 want to do the next one? I'll be A. How much was the taxi home last night?
I think I got scammed.
Why?
Well, it's normally only 20,000, but the guy last night charged me 28,000.
You got scammed for sure, man.
Yeah.
Newsflash, Ben. You got scammed again.
Again.
You always fall for it.
Yes.
낚이는 거, 낚였어. 그러면은 you fell for it. That's like you've been gullible Ben. Gullible Ben. Okay, so 이거 뜻풀이 할게요. So how much was the taxi home last night? 어제 집에 가는 택시 요금 얼마나 나왔어요? 대답은 I think I got scammed. 잘 모르겠지만 제가 바가지 쓴 것 같아요. 그리고 대답은 그래 왜? Why? And then well, it's normally only 20,000. 원래 평상시에 2만 원밖에 안 냈는데 어제 그 사람이 이렇게 28,000원 요구했으니까 그런 것 같습니다. 그 말이고. Alright, what are some other ways of saying it? So 또 다른 표현으로 얘기할 수 있어요. 영어로 유의어 되게 많습니다. What's another way of saying it?
I got taken.
Right, I got taken and also?
Like I got taken for a ride.
So right, we say sometimes just I got taken or sometimes all the way to I got taken for a ride. So 이렇게 원래 직역하면 말 그대로 옮기면은 차에 태웠어요. 누군가 나를 차에 태웠어요. 근데 사기 당했어요. 이런 의미로 많이 써요. So I got taken for a ride. What's another way?
I got tricked.
Tricked, right. 속았어요. 그냥 단순히 I got tricked. I was tricked. And then here's an idiom, an interesting one. How about this? He pulled the wool over my eyes.
Yes.
So wool 이렇게 한국 사람들이 울이라고 하죠. 근데 울 가지고 내 눈을 가렸다. 이런 재미있는 수어도 있어요. So he pulled the wool over my eyes. And the etymology, the origin of it is a little unclear, but some people think it comes from wigs.
Wigs in the 17th, 18th century.
Americans and also
Americans and the British would wear white woolen wigs. And people would
pull that over your eyes.
Their eyes so you cannot see.
Can't see anything. So 옛날에 사람들이 울로 만들어진 가발 많이 썼대요. 그래서 가발을 이렇게 앞으로 당겨서 내리면은 그러면 눈 안 보일 거 아니에요. 그래서 원래 그 어원이 그렇다고 얘기하더라고요. So somebody pulled the wool over my eyes이라고 하면은 저를 속였어요. He deceived me. He pulled the wool over my eyes. Right? It's the same thing. And what's another one? Here's another funny expression. Through the nose.
Through the nose.
Right. So
I paid through the nose for that cell phone.
For your haircut.
My haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got ripped off, dude. If you paid any more than 1,001, you got ripped off. 머리 자르러 갔을 때 1,000원 이상 냈으면 you got ripped off. 바가지 쓴 거예요.
Again.
Yeah, I think it was pretty
the third
cheap.
time I've been.
Next time, pay me, dude. I'll cut your hair. All right, 501.
500.
Yeah, I'll bring my razor. We got a deal. Got ourselves a deal. All right, I'll bring my 면도기 next. I'll bring my razor. 1,001. All right, so 재미있는 표현 paid through the nose. 말 그대로 옮기면은 코로 돈을 냈다. The etymology on this one is a little unclear too, but people think that it comes from in the old days, tax evaders.
Yes.
They were cut off the nose.
Yeah, if they didn't pay your tax, your nose would be cut.
That's an intention.
So everybody knew you
don't mess
pay
around.
Yes, everybody should pay that tax.
They didn't mess around in the old days. That's one thing I know about the old days. I'm glad I live in the modern
Yeah,
day.
we are lucky.
My nose has been chopped off a long time ago. So 옛날에 사람들이 탈세자, 세금 안 내려고 했던 사람 이렇게 골렸을 때, 들켰을 때 볼로 여기 이렇게 칼로 코를 잘랐대요. Okay, so to pay through the nose이라고 하면은 오늘날의 의미는 이렇게 돈을 많이 썼다, okay? 너무 많이 냈다. 그래서 바가지 쓰다 하고 똑같은 말이에요. So how much did you pay for that haircut? Then you would say.
I paid through the nose.
So yeah, anything over 1,000,
Yeah.
you were paying through the nose. So how much was this jacket? I paid through the nose. 이런 식으로 쓰는 거예요. How much was that phone?
I paid through the nose.
I paid through the nose for this wonderful piece of machinery. So 그렇게 쓰는 거고. All right, and now as we finish up, let's talk about the last similar expressions we have.
I got duped.
Right.
This is one that we don't use in the UK.
Oh, okay. Duped.
Yeah.
Duped may be an Americanism, but we say duped is to be fooled.
I think if we were to say it, we would say duped.
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 Yeah, with a U pronunciation. Yeah, okay. We normally say duped, but it's just to be tricked or to be fooled, right? So I got fooled. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to say this. I got tricked, I got fooled, I got scammed, I got taken for a ride, I got ripped off.
I got burned.
I got burned, right. Okay, and then there's also I got tricked. Now how about 사기? What's the last one there? There's also the word, more formal word, fraud.
Fraud,
right?
yes.
So you're a fraud. If you want to call somebody else a fraudster, fraudulent, you could say you're a fraud.
You're a fraud.
So then it means 사기꾼. 이런 말 쓰고 싶으면은 you're a fraud이라고 할 수 있는데, so fraud has two meanings. One is a person who commits fraud, and also the act itself, the offense itself.
Yes.
Right. So he committed fraud.
He committed fraud.
He was busted for fraud. 사기치다가 걸렸어요. He was busted for fraud이라고 할 수 있고. 그리고 또 이런 말 있어요. Sometimes in formal situations, people will say defrauded. I don't know if you use that in England as well.
We do sometimes hear the word defrauded, yeah?
Yeah, it's fraud. So he was the victim of fraud, or he was defrauded. It's like pantsed and depantsed. It's the same meaning. We don't have to translate that one. That's a schoolyard humor.
Keep you guessing.
Yeah, inside joke on that one. Okay, so Ben, have you ever been a victim of fraud? Have you ever been ripped off?
There was a time in Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
about 10, 12 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
that I felt really ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually my first night in Bangkok, first night in the country, first time in Asia,
Mm-hmm.
and the taxi driver said, "Do you want to go for some food?" I said, "Yeah, why not? Seafood?"
Why not?
Why not?
Big fan. Mm-hmm.
Went to this seafood restaurant, and as soon as we pulled up, shrimp. Do you want shrimp?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why not?
2 each.
2 each.
Why not? 2 each, two shrimp each with some fried rice and a beer each. Came to 5,000 baht.
Which is, I don't know exactly the exchange
Well,
rate, but
a long time ago it was about 85 English pounds, so like
Mm.
$150.
wow, for that meal.
Yeah, and that was our first meal, our first experience in Thailand.
It's like, I spent all my money, I gotta go home.
We thought it was expensive, and it wasn't until the next day that we found out everything was
Much cheaper
much
than that.
cheaper than that.
Yeah,
So
if you didn't have a standard for how much the normal price was.
we felt really ripped
Off. The next day you felt more ripped
Yes.
off. That night we felt a little ripped off. The next day we felt extremely ripped off.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Yeah, so 돈 아마 원래 가격보다 외국인 와서 돈을 더 많이 요구했나 봐요. So you suspect you were ripped off.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Okay, well, so we finish up for the day then?
Yep.
And thanks for stopping by. We'll have you back soon.
No problem.
As always. Okay, 여러분 감사합니다. 그리고 다음에 뵙겠습니다. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.